Traveling has always been a passion of mine, but traveling with Alicia can be a bit daunting. The older I get, the more respect for fear I have, and the older she gets, the more challenging a fear she becomes. And when we decided to trek out and go on an overlanding trip with our cousin Brad, well, let's just say my fear of heights, they were put to the challenge. We drove some of the most dangerous and challenging roads in the country, climbed a fairly new sport in the U.S. called the Via Ferrata, and witnessed some of the most spectacular views the Rocky Mountains have to offer. It all started when our cousin Brad and his wife Millie came over for supper, and over a couple of glasses of homemade wine, they explained their recent trip of overlanding. Needless to say, we were hooked. We joined them back at their house and looked over the maps and different trails to plan out a 7-day overlanding trip. The goal? To trek out across the beautiful state of Colorado without touching pavement. But we couldn't make this just one 20-minute episode. Join us in this 3-part series as we explain how you can go overlanding and get lost in the Rocky Mountains. Here we go.
We are Lee and Alicia Ducote.
I'm an author and novelist who likes to write romance and adventure.
And I am an outdoor adventurist who likes to drag Lee along with me.
Together, we travel all over the country and search for those off-the-beaten-path adventures that don't cost a fortune, with the hopes to inspire others to get out and find their own adventure.
So gear up, grab your backpack, and come go with us as we search for that next crazy adventure.
And maybe find a little romance along the way.
Welcome to the Centennial State. We are here in amazingly gorgeous Colorado to take you on an overlanding adventure. This you're going to want to stick around for. But before we get to the thrills and sunsets, we have to get to Denver. If you have traveled during this pandemic, then you know it is a pain in the butt.
I'm excited to get his mask off.
So we have to wear them.
We left the heat of the marshlands of Louisiana and made the 2-hour flight to Denver, Colorado. With the view of the snow-capped Rocky Mountains lining the horizon, we made our way through a fairly busy airport, grabbed our backpacks, and stepped out into a comfortable 70 degrees. Historically, the term overlanding came from Australia, where farmers and/or cowboys drove their livestock long distances from grazing grounds to the markets. Humans have traveled and camped for years. The movement of immigrants in every continent involved travel over long periods of time. It wasn't until the 20th century that people started enjoying long treks for entertainment, and with the introductions of engines, it became much easier. In the 1950s and 60s, camping in vehicles became the inexpensive way families could get out and see the United States. And with Route 66 catering to the traveler, manufacturers started to build more comfortable means of travel. With motorhomes and travel trailers paving the way, overlanding became the most popular way to vacation. In the 21st century, Jeep enthusiasts brought back sleeping outside and trekking some of the most iconic mountain passes our country has to offer. And that is what we are doing here in Colorado. We are driving the treacherous Black Bear Pass, the historical Imogene Pass, and many others along the way.
All right, we're here. We'll probably take this off a little bit and step out to that little jewel right there. Go ahead and get my next bag out. And
Oh yeah, let me get everything for you.
We arrived at Overland Discovery to be greeted by night, our Jeep for the next 8 days. And Steve, the general manager, gave us a quick tour of their facility and the other vehicles that were waiting to be picked up for other adventure trips. After instructions on how everything worked on the Jeep, Steve handed over the keys. I thought I had won the right to drive, but Lee booted me out of the driver's seat. That's okay, I'll get to do most of the driving this week.
Here we go. Like we're just jumping in and jetting off.
Within 15 minutes, we left the busy streets of Denver and disappeared into the Rockies. We headed 2 hours west to Buena Vista and stopped for groceries before heading out to meet Brad and Millie.
Sitting here trying to talk to Brad on the phone and losing connection because he's already up on the trail. Alicia and I have stopped here by the grocery store to grab something to eat for tonight and for the next few nights before we head up on some mountains. Oh, and I gotta say, Alicia's probably a little upset. This place is crowded. A lot of people here shopping. How's it going?
We're gonna eat good. I'm learning the Jeep. It's a little touchy on the gas pedal.
You better learn it a lot. We're lost as usual. Take a left here. I bet you're supposed to take a left here. All right, now we've run out of pavement and we're supposed to be close.
To what? Getting lost?
We've been lost ever since we've been married. There you go.
With directions from Brad, Lee and I started up a very rocky road headed straight up a mountain. It takes a lot to render Lee speechless. He was sure we were lost now.
So Alicia, as you well know, is the daredevil of the bunch and has always loved driving, always been a Jeep girl. And so with us doing this solo and without our crew, thanks COVID-19, then I'll be doing a lot of the filming, a lot of the flying the drone, and Alicia will be doing probably 90% of the driving. These roads are like really rocky. Are you sure we're on the right road?
10-4, keep coming. We're about 3 miles up the mountain. We'll be on the left. You can't miss us.
Man, what a beautiful place here.
It's not bad. Not bad. You guys ready to get lost?
We are ready to get lost, yeah. Overland Discovery has set us up well for this trip, so we're looking forward to it. We've got 7 days of this, and it's not going to happen in one episode. We're going to make this a whole series. We've got a lot to do. So, but right now, we're going to go set up camp.
And then I am looking forward to a whole lot of adventure this week. Yes. Absolutely.
And maybe a little romance, too.
Once we leveled the Jeep and blocked the wheels, we set up camp. The views from our campsite the first night were as serene as any postcard picture you'll ever find. And the sun setting in the distance with the crackling sounds from our fire set the bar high for the remaining week. We visited through the night before climbing into our tents and falling asleep with just the sounds of nature. The following morning, I woke up to the smell of fresh ground coffee and the sizzling of bacon.
I do not do mornings. You know that.
All right, how was your first night?
Well, besides for you tossing and turning, it was really good. I made it through the night. Apparently, I did sleep because I didn't hear whatever was walking through camp in the middle of the night that everybody else apparently heard, so ignorance is bliss.
I think it was Millie sleepwalking, but you know. All right, we're fixing to hit the road here and go down this really smooth paved highway that we're on and head to a ghost town called St. Elmo's. Got a lot of history behind it. Alicia will explain that when we get there. And then Brad's got a surprise for us after that. I don't like surprises right now because he brought us up here, but we'll find out, all right? This has never caused an argument.
What? No.
Teamwork.
Give me some slack. Don't
Too
push.
slippery.
Don't push
You're
there.
going
No,
too
look.
fast.
Stay.
After lowering the tires for a smoother ride and packing up, we headed out for our first mountain pass. Oh, look like she's going off the side of the road.
Drive the damn Jeep, good grief. It's my side. I can unbuckle and bail pretty dang fast. So my view of riding beside Alicia is actually that. And of course that. I thought we were just gonna go ride around the country and enjoy ourselves.
Anyone else guess what Lee's hand signals are? And could you follow them? Man, I love him.
I can see the highway down there.
The highway?
Yes,
It's a dirt road.
it's a highway compared to this.
Once out on Lee's so-called highway, we headed to St. Elmo, Colorado's most preserved ghost town. St. Elmo came into existence in 1880 when the gold and silver mining began booming in Colorado. In the height of its time, St. Elmo was the home to a telegraph office, general store, town hall, 5 hotels, saloons, dancing halls, a newspaper office, a schoolhouse, and 2,000 residents. In 1922, the railroad discontinued its service and St. Elmo ceased to exist.
All right, so if you're ever in Salida or Buena Vista, St. Elmo is a place that you want to visit. Really cool, well preserved. Come spend a day here, do some picnicking here. This is an adventure you don't want to pass up if you're in this area.
St. Elmo was the beginning of our first mountain pass, Tin Cup Pass. This is an old wagon road that linked St. Elmo to the slightly bigger town of Tin Cup and was used to transport supplies from one to the other. It is also one of the higher roads in Colorado with a narrow trail toward the top that passes through the Continental Divide. All right, so Leah's asking these fine folks what this trail is like, heading up it. You know, information is good when you're getting off land.
Just watch your lines, you're fine.
Or off pavement, not off land.
Brad's never done this. He's overlanded. He's experienced. He and Millie have done this before. They're experienced. So the part of us going with them, we're very secure. But the part about getting lost and not knowing the roads, this is the real deal. I mean, you don't know. We've never done them.
You don't know.
Came across somebody that's hiking the Colorado Trail. How many miles have you put in so far?
About 120.
About 120. And that's great.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Having a good time, getting rained on a lot, hailed on.
Yeah.
You know, just having an adventure. So
When do you think we'll wrap it up?
I bet I got another 30 days.
We said goodbye to Turtle and started up the narrow trail to the summit. Can I just say that Millie is awesome when it comes to spotting everyone over the rocks and small boulders we had to navigate to reach the summit. I always get by myself somehow. Go figure. But low and slow, my friends, low and slow. It's part of the adventure. This was the perfect little breaking point, seeing the Continental Divide Trail. It's so cool through here. And now we're rolling again.
Acted like it wouldn't be too much longer.
So as soon as they get this thing rolled out of the way,
maybe the adventure can continue.
the adventure continues.
So Millie just picked up a water bottle that we found in the middle of the trail. So it's a good time to say that pack it in, pack it out, and pick up anything that you find.
We reached Tin Cup, that is more populated with summer homes than I thought, and started up our second mountain pass for the day with a much smoother ride. We summited the Cumberland Pass.
"33 miles over that pass. Took us some time because people had breakdowns and other reasons, but we did enjoy every bit of it." Am I driving or you?
Of course I'm driving.
Well, come on.
Pulling onto paved roads, we entered the small town of Pitkin and the coolest store I've seen in a while. The Silver Plume General Store offers anything from fuel to light groceries, and of course a wall lined with t-shirts. And since today is National Ice Cream Day, one of my favorite days of the year, they of course had ice cream. And if you want to rent a side-by-side, this is the place for that too. Lee jumped behind the wheel and drove us to Gunnison. So we just pulled off the highway. We are behind schedule, just due to some certain technical difficulties on the pass that we did today, the Tin Cup Pass and Cumberland Pass, and people breaking down and blocking the road. But it's been a great adventure, and so now we're looking for a place to camp.
Are you cold?
It's a little chilly out here in the mountains.
I'll have to say we're in the middle of nowhere. Brad found this campground that hasn't been camped on in quite some time.
That's how you know you're lost.
Yes, but Millie cooked tremendous fajitas. They were totally awesome, totally good, so good. But anyway, it is dark and we are gonna wrap up night 2 and hey Brad, here comes somebody here comes somebody up on that mountain right there on that trail.
No.
All right, so something crazy just happened. We were sitting here, finished supper, somebody is riding their bicycle out here in the middle of nowhere. Kind of freaked everybody out. So everybody's gone to bed right now, and I've elected to stay up for at least another hour just to watch camp, just to make sure everything's okay. You don't have to worry about the mountain lions out here, you gotta worry about the locals. So I'm gonna turn this light off.